Hi, I'm Beck, and I have COVID. Yeah, so don't mind my voice. But anyways, back in 2021, when this picture or official art was released, people went crazy over it. And, I was going to redraw it for like the third time to see my progress over the years. And I really got to thinking about it, and then I thought about it even more, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to make an analysis video about this because I have the time and I need something to post for Halloween, even though, excuse me, I sound disgusting, even though this is not a Halloween-themed post. Okay. I'm going to start with Ray and Emma's hand placement. So as you can see, they're side by side, however they're facing opposite directions. I feel this shows that they're polar opposites but can meet eye to eye as their fingertips are almost touching. Along with the fact that their arms are positioned the same way. This shows that even though they are totally different, they have the same views. Now for Norman and Emma. So when you look at their hands, their fingertips are close together. Emma's is down on the bed and Norman's is crossing over hers almost, but they're not directly touching. Their arms are positioned in opposite directions as well. Norman's arm is very limp along with his hand, and I feel like this could show that he's accepted reality and almost lost hope because of how sick he is. And so it's just limp, laying on the ground, laying down. And while Emma's is up and very much positioned because, she still has that hope. And notice how their hands are not going in the same direction. They're not necessarily, reaching for each other. They're side by side, and their arms are facing opposite directions. I feel this could show of how close they used to be and, how similar they can be. However, they have totally opposing views now, and they're fighting against each other, and they betray each other, and I feel their pinkies kind of crossing over can show that there still is some value of their friendship there, but then again it's distanced, so that shows it's dwindling. I'm gonna go on to talk about the placements of Norman, Emma, and Ray because I feel that's also very important to this picture and says a lot. So once again, Ray and Emma are facing opposite directions, however, they're almost positioned exactly the same. And then Norman has his head laying on Emma's stomach and is faced totally different than the other two. In this picture, Ray and Emma are equals. They have the same views and they have the same power and all of that. They're confident in one another and trust each other. Now with Norman, he has his head laying on Emma's stomach. So, Norman is very, very dependent on Emma. I feel like that's very obvious, because she helps to bring him out of that and says, it's okay to be afraid, all of this. And, he's kind of using her as a pillow in this picture to keep his head up. And I feel that speaks for itself. Okay, this may be a stretch, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the eyes. So both Norman and Ray's eyes are closed and Emma's are kind of halfway open. From what I've observed in my many, many years of being obsessed with The Promised Neverland, is Norman and Ray are both very closed off people, where Emma is open to new ideas. She's very open-minded, and I feel like that's what this could represent, maybe the boys are choosing, not to see, whatever, and Emma is, I don't know if that makes any sense. I have another thing for this, but yeah. Norman and Ray are also both very, emotionally dependent on Emma, so it could be, she's looking out for them, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like this one as much. What I'm saying. I don't think it makes as much sense, but yeah. Lastly, I'm going to talk about how they are laying on seemingly what is a bed. Now, the story of The Promised Neverland is a very stressful one. The characters are constantly faced with challenge after challenge, which is something I really like about it. Anyways, the trio being in a bed, which is, beds are associated with rest and relaxation. The trio laying in a bed could mean that they're comforted by each other and they can finally rest now that they've found one another again, now that they've reunited. And I think that's all I can get out of this photo. This is the end of the video. This is my little outro thingy. If you can't tell, I have progressively felt worse and worse and worse as I've been recording this. I don't have much of, pep in my step anymore. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so sorry I said, so many times in this video, but, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.